Newtonmore is a peaceful highland village, but one of its preoccupations is a kind of warfare, a team game called shinty.
What's yourself? See you, Bob. What's yourself?
Newtonmore's on the main line to Inverness, and ever since the railway came through in 1865, the village has had a tourist industry. The rail link is still important to the locals, and in the past year, the station has won, yet again, an award for its tidiness. The station master, Jock McIntosh, is also chairman of the Shinty Committee.
Watch it, Angus!
The community grew up as a linear village, stretched out for about a mile along the A9, the main road through the Central Highlands to Inverness. As in so many other places, the village high street must carry the burden of being a trunk road as well. Last year's Shinty trophies go on display, and this week the new season opens with a match against Kingussie, the great rivals a couple of miles up the road. Newtonmore must be one of the few places of its size in Britain without a football pitch. Here, football only happens on the telly. The schoolboys have the use of a fairway on the local golf course to play shinty, and Jock McIntosh coaches them.
Oh, Nick, you're all right. Come on now, Donald. You're off sides here, look. Oh, nice, Donald. Go on, Jeff. Boy, in you go. Good, there, fella. Good, Robert. Go on, Robert. Away you go.
Here, the boys start playing shinty as toddlers, and even the women have run their own shinty team, although they found opposition a bit scarce.
Come on, Duncan.
The only other game that gets a look in during the summer, that is golf. But for the schoolboys, the great ambition is to play one day for Newtonmore, a team whose successes over the years makes it the most formidable side in the country. It would be a remarkable year indeed if Newtonmore didn't win some trophy or other. For the lads, it's all a strong incentive to practice at a game which is strenuous and, as the sport writers would say, physical. It's a totally amateur sport, but local men who have made it to the first team and who are living and working outside the village will travel up to 100 miles every Saturday just to get a game.
Come on, Donald. Keith. Hello, hello. Nice. Come on now, Jeff. Oh, Jeff. Come on. That's it, boys. That's it, boys.
The traffic noise of the main street dominates the village. Everyone lives within the sound of it. The traffic was always heavy enough, but North Sea oil developments have added to it in the last few years. And every summer come the tourist cars and coaches, only now in late September beginning to thin out, letting the village revert to its winter way of life when they do things for themselves and not for visitors. But for the children and everyone else in Newtonmore, some relief is at hand. Many locals have found work in building the bypass, which will take most of the heavy traffic away from the main street. Newtonmore will be a much quieter place come November of this year when the bypass is opened. But the bypass road, which removes the noisy heavy lorries, may also remove the tourists. And without tourism, Newtonmore would perish. Too many jobs are involved, and the summer of 1979 may be the last of the big ones. Certainly, many of the locals who depend on the visitors for a large slice of their livelihood are worried that the next few years could be a lot less profitable. Much of the business in the shops and hotels is passing trade, and there are fears that the new fast road may tempt visitors to speed north to Inverness or south to Perth, rather than break their journey at a village which involves a detour, however short that detour may be. In the back room of the village hall, the community council meet to discuss this threat to Newtonmore's prosperity.
If you look at many other towns have had the same sort of experience of being bypassed, and certainly it's been reported umpteen times for the first short period after it's opened, there's been a very marked, considerable drop in traffic and trade. But if one is patient, this builds up to a greater extent than before the bypass was ever opened. Because people then know that they can come into village and they know that they can stop. They don't have an enormous great lorry up their boot as a motor car pushing them on, and they don't have time to stop. And I think in the long run it can do nothing but good, personally. That's my own view.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I mean, it's up to us to make it work. I mean, it's up as a community council. Yeah. We've got to make it attractive.
I do think we're very fortunate in Newtonmore here. We have a wonderful wee village. You can say what you like. We have all the amenities that most villages would love to have. I don't think we've anything to worry about at all. Newtonmore will always survive, and I certainly take a very dim view of anybody who thinks otherwise.
I'm sure once all the villages are bypassed, they'll see that they will have to come off the main road and go into the villages.
The petrol tanker leaves Billy Kirk's filling station for the last time. The oil company, Shell, who own the site, have written to Billy explaining that under their rationalization plans, he is being closed down.
Well, I've only got 9 days to go now.
9, is it?
It closes the 29th.
What reason they give for closing that? Is there anything particular?
Oh, well, it's just Shell's present economic policy. They're trying to cut out the smaller filling stations
yeah.
and direct the volume of sales to the bigger ones.
Do you think this new road's maybe got something to do with it?
Well, initially when I got the letter from the company saying they were closing the site, I thought to myself, this is because of the new road.
New road, yeah.
So, but they said that no, it wasn't the new road that was causing this.
Oh.
It was just their present policy.
There.
The way they have it, they will sell the site to me, but they won't allow me to sell petrol from it. So therefore I can't get another
company
brand of petrol in there.
What are you planning to do then? You keep the shop on like that?
Well, they've put an offer to us to buy the site, so we're going to buy the site and try and maybe expand what we're selling in the shop at the moment, you know. They won't give an income sufficient for me, like my wife Mary, she'll run the shop and I'll try and get something else, you know. I suppose it won't be all that easy getting a job, because this time of year too.
Of course the roads will be closed more or less, wouldn't they, with the weather bad.
I don't have a trade of any sort, you see.
An old cottage is demolished. One of the few, for Newtonmore is a relatively modern village, a planned, orderly settlement, quite unlike the sprawling townships so common in the Highlands. It's an English-speaking village on the fringes of the Gaelic-speaking north.
What will the first 2 words be? I'm not sure. Harmy. Who said that? Is that you? Well done. But you don't know what running is, do you? It's a much easier word than that one. That's a koshach. This one is... we call that a rui. A rui. It sounds like running, doesn't it? A rui. Hami sana. Hami koshach. Hami rui. Right, draw it then. That's very good. Chingleva. Hami koshach.
You won't hear Gaelic spoken in the streets and shops of Newtonmore, and it's taught in the school just like any other foreign language.
Hami rui. Rui. Hami koshach. Hami rui. Leva. You can sing on. Ready? No, not yet. Hurry up then. That's fine. Hami rui. Right? You know what they mean? Hami sana means anybody? Finish off your drawings as you're still drawing. Hami sana. Hami koshach. What I'm doing just now. Hami rui. I'm running. Right.
Every autumn, at the start of the shinty season, the pitch is tidied up. But this year it's different. The turf is being lifted, the ground levelled, and odd rocks removed. For the time being, matches will be played on a nearby field loaned by a local farmer. It'll be a few weeks before the turf relaid has knitted together enough to be played on again.
If the roots keep going the way they're going on the other side, then we'll probably be playing by about the mid to end of November. And hopefully if we get some nice wet weather.
Do you see this becoming as good as the Hampden turf for this?
It's a very good turf, Jack. It's a bent grass turf, which is a very natural, hard-wearing, indigenous grass variety that you get up in this particular area. The drainage here is natural. The drainage at Hampden, on the main area at Hampden, is solid blue clay under the main park, and on the right-hand side in front of the stand is shelf rock, some 12, 15 inches under the surface. So, quite honestly, we had as big a problem at Hampden as we had here. As you see, I don't know whether you want to see, but it's beautiful. Forest, grit. There's no silt makeup hardly in it at all. You can see the roots.
Just the best of everything.
The best of stuff.
But the big problem here was the area, really, apart from the character of the undersoil.
Well,
it's so much bigger than you've been dealing with in soccer terms.
What one must remember that a shinty pitch is, at least this area, is about 170 yards long by 80 yards exactly wide, whereas a football pitch is about 110 by 65 normally. And the difference varies between 7,000 square yards and 13,000 square yards.
The Area Tourist Authority has stated that with the opening of the bypass, Newtonmore's tourist office may be badly placed. But any threat of not having an office of their own will be resisted by the community council.
Information about restaurants or something like that in Craig?
Well, this is a brochure, Spey Valley brochure. And in Craig is, and this week there's a Cayley Week being held there, which seems very popular.
I think it's incredible that they're going to propose to spend large sum of capital on a new tourist information centre and have a question mark about the whether it's going to be manned or not. And secondly, that in no way should our local tourist office be disbanded. After all,
they envisaged at the time not a manned information office, but some sort of boarding which displayed information to anybody calling there. I would certainly be up in arms if they ever thought of closing the Newtonmore tourist office.
I have seen big lorries in at the garage that cars can't get into the tourist board office, and I've known them to ask me how they do get into the tourist board office because of lorries parked in the space where they should get in.
The owner of the garage beside the tourist office has other problems. He has just been told that one of the contractors on the bypass has gone into liquidation, owing him a lot of money.
We're having a community council meeting tomorrow night, and I thought I would bring up the business of the effect of Nichols' liquidation coming would be on the village. And I know you're very much involved indeed, and can you give me any idea what the position is?
It's going to affect everybody, Harry.
Yes.
I'm down 5,000. Not so bad just now, but the trouble is that when you get down to, say, December and January, and the rates come in, and these people start shouting for tax, it's going to be something then. Because the trouble is, these things might go on for 2 years.
Before you get a settlement. Which you can afford, of course, can you?
Well, one thing about living up here, On Monday morning, I'd a laird in. I know that probably you'll know who I mean as well.
Yes,
And he told me not to worry. So far as finance was concerned, I wouldn't be let down.
Ah, well, that's very comforting. And
oh, that's typical of
real
you,
village
isn't it?
life, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is.
Fine.
And everybody, I'll say that, a hell of a lot of people have been in and asked about it, as they normally would do.
Yes, yes.
Well, you know what it's like here.
Oh, I know, yes.
Aye.
Oh, well, we hope things turn out not too badly for you, Bob.
Oh, well.
Okay?
Maybe.
I'll report tomorrow night anyway.
You could always come up and see me when I'm poor size.
As you know, one of the main contractors on the A9 went into voluntary liquidation, resulting in a loss of employment by a number of local lads. I don't know whether any of you have more knowledge than I have as to what the future holds for this firm that went down, whether they'll be able to start up again or whether another firm is taking them over. Have you any knowledge, Ian, at all of it?
I understand the contracts will be taken over, but of course the people taking the business over already have many of their own workmen, which is not going to relieve the problem of unemployment for a fair proportion of those who had obtained work here.
Is there nothing we can do? Can we not write to the Scottish Development Authority, for instance, to see if there's anything, any recompense for those people who are out so much money at the moment? Is there no way of helping out?
At this moment, it's not really incumbent on us to do that.
I think one of the things that we have to watch there is the chain reaction.
You have the letter.
Yeah. Is the chain reaction through the subcontractors who have been employed by that main contractor. The chain reaction through them and again back to the small businesses in the village will obviously have a strong effect. Of course, one of the other points to note there, Harry, is this business of when this all started in this new construction, a lot of the local businesses lost their apprentices and their workmen who were making perhaps 35 or 40 pounds a week.
This is quite
and now they're earning 150 pounds a week. Now what's going to happen when that road is finished? Are they going to be content to come back to 35 and 40 pounds a week? Or do they follow another construction job somewhere else in the country? We're losing
the way, yeah.
This is
We've
a
lost
problem
butchers,
that was going to be with us.
Angus McRae, a bricklayer, is this year's captain of the Shinty team. Johnny Campbell, who employs him, is a former Shinty star. Angus and Johnny will be meeting again this evening at the weekly get-together in a local hotel when the Shinty committee meets to pick the team for Saturday's needle match against Kingusi.
Personally, I think it's wrong having the same two subs every week because the boys aren't getting a game. If they're not going on, they're getting a wee bit annoyed about not playing simply. Not that they've said anything personally to me, but, you know, they've said, you know, oh, I'd rather be playing.
Well, that's, I would maybe see more than one of them get a shot, like, because they're all going to end up in the team sometime, maybe.
You say?
No, well.
It should be their ambition, but it seems some of them say now it's not their ambition.
No.
They don't get a game, they don't want to play.
I don't know if it was changed days, Joe.
Oh, I would say it was changed days. Would you say
Yes,
that?
aye, but I mean, you never had this problem before.
Oh, yes.
Two boys standing at the sideline. There was one.
See the whole team standing on the sideline as well as you have playing there.
One reserve it was. It wasn't a substitute either.
No,
It was just a reserve. I mean, he knew he had no chance of getting a game. But if you're a substitute, well, you've got a chance of getting a game, surely.
Well,
eh?
just the same as
But it's enough chance as far as the boys are concerned just now.
Last Saturday was the first Saturday, wasn't the sub taken on?
Aye, well, I mean, Russell, there's 2 Saturdays.
2 Saturdays without a game. No, all I was saying was why not
Well, you're
change
a
the
bit better than
substitute?
that, surely. We'd be better leaving him in the second team. Why not take Norman this week then?
Well, I reckon
As I said.
two reserves, you want your two best men.
So do I.
It's not a matter of chasing them round if you stand up. Should they stand 2 weeks, 3 weeks, should they stand 4 weeks, you should still have the two best men standing by. And if these men, I'm quite sure they're quite willing to play, should they stand for 4 weeks without a game.
Oh, I've been asked by one of the players from last week, young Michael Ralph. He got rather bad knock and he lost 3 teeth. And it's going to cost him £60. And he was wondering if the club were insured in any way to cover him rather than losing the money out of his own pocket.
He lost 2 complete ones and half of another one.
That was one. Then we are insured, but we'll need to look into the policy, see if it covers teeth.
Because he's he doesn't know exactly what it's going to cost. But he doesn't feel as though he should pay the whole lot out of
The
himself.
club will know see him at a loss to the worst comes to the worst.
As long as you know gold.
Whoa! 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 Hey! Whoa! Hey! Whoa! Hey!
There are other pastimes, many of them inevitably involving game and fish. Newtonmore is surrounded by splendid sporting country, and right beside the village runs the River Spey, famous for its whiskey and its salmon. But not all of the sporting activities are strictly legal. Salmon poaching is pretty common, but what's not so common is poachers getting caught. 2 local lads did just that, and after the court case they tell their pals all about it.
First of all, we got the fishy, right? We were in the spey first when we got a fish.
Aye.
And I says to Brian, right, we'll go up the fishy bit, so we got a couple of fish, easy now. So we was up the fishy, and the Baileys were sitting there. So Brian says, well, keep going a bit. So we kept going a bit, and the Baileys buggered off somewhere else. We
Must have followed us, I think, thinking we was going somewhere else.
Aye. And he's starting to fish again, just as he was doing that, I seen his Marty crossing the bridge. And I says, Brian, I wonder who that is.
He looked over the bridge, didn't he? You see the day stalker.
He had a 4.5 foot on, like, you know. And I ran up the bridge to see where he went. I never seen him after that. So the next minute, he walks back across the bridge and he goes across the hill on the other side of the bank and into the trees. And Brian was saying, that's fucking strange, like, you know, someone walking along here. So however, about maybe 15 minutes after that, police band came. And I says, Brian said to me, like, it's no very often the police van's up here, like, you know, we thought nothing of it at all, seen the police van.
As soon as he mentioned the police van, I knew straight away, like, you know. I says, it's time.
Might as well take a warning when you get it. So he was dismounting, and I went to get the fish. And by the time I was halfway down the banking, the police van was back and the police were walking down.
The police wasn't saying nothing. They never said a bloody word, hardly. The police on the riverbank, like, you know, the Baileys was doing all the talking. And he says, oh, they was in the glory right enough. And then see the queer little men in the green jackets coming. And that
the big
was,
wheelie boots.
The big wheelie boots and the big sticks. And what was kind of sticks?
I was going on here now, boys.
You can see it was full of it. They was full of it when they walked down that bank. Where's the fish then, he says?
They're expecting us to say, well, we never got any fish. And then they were going,
Point to them, like, you know.
So they're sitting watching us all the time. Right, now if I hid the fish at first under a rock, there's a sort of 2 rocks together and you put the fish in there. But I took them out after that, there's no reason to hide them. And I laid them on the banking. When the court reported, they say they were hid under a rock.
Hid under a rock. There's no, geez, the only rock down there, 10 men to lift it. So I might fish under it. It would, I want that good, like, you know. And that was it. And the next bloke to join was, I think he was a chief inspector, was he?
That's what he said he was.
Maybe just an inspector. Oh, maybe so, aye. But
I sent him and said to Sergeant, right, Sergeant, is that enough for you?
Are you satisfied?
He's satisfied.
I says, are you satisfied? And everybody says yes. Four bailies and 2 policemen.
They all said yes.
They all said yes, like, you know.
We were standing.
And then he says, what did you, one of the bailies, I forget, I think it was that, what was his name?
The big one.
He's not big, he's little and fat.
Anyway, what was I about to say, £90.
He took a step back when he said £90. Hey?
He sentenced them first.
He sentenced me first. He says, I thought, oh, Jesus, it'd be about 50 quid, like, you know.
That's what I thought it'd be like.
No bother at all.
I gave him a low wage. I said a low wage.
And then he says 120 for you. I thought, oh, 50. That wasn't bad for me, right enough.
Well, and
then he says, I sentenced you, Gordon Kennedy, £90. Gordon took a step back.
Thanks very much indeed. Did you hear about the carry-on up the terrace?
Well, the poachers.
Oh, yes.
Great excitement there. My next door neighbour.
Oh, that's right.
£120 he got fined, and the younger lad got £90 fine. Which is quite a lot, really, isn't it? I'd imagine it'd be Gordon's first offence.
Oh, I would think it. Well, it's not Brian. Has he not had a warning before?
Well, I'm not sure. I think the police were there once before, but I think it's a bit unfair, as much as that.
Then, of course, as well as that, they confiscate all the gear, which can add up to about £120 because they have all these first-class reels and things.
I think it's hard lines.
Oh, I think so
yeah,
too.
I quite agree.
Oh, I agree, they're taking a chance.
Breaking the law. Why should these landowners have the right to, and we have to open it in a spam for us? I'm all in favour if it's one for the pot. I don't agree if you're going to sell them and make a lot of money out of it for greed.
For gain.
But if it's one now and again for yourself.
Well, they weren't sticking cyanide in the water or anything like that.
No, they wouldn't know.
They used to do.
Oh, that's true. Well, don't you think the fines are a bit steep compared to some of the fines? Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it matters what the fine is. If you're doing it and you know it's wrong, then you've had it. You've got to pay.
Yes, but
I'm not being prissy about it, but that's just the way I feel about things like that.
You're a good church-going little girl, aren't you? But really, when you... Any more windows to go on? One here?
And there. That fits in there. There you are. And that goes through. You keep moving one piece. There you are. See the arms there, look. We'll close the door. Make sure we close the door, right? Great, great. Remember that? There you are. So night night. So way to bed, Rob. Night night.
Let's see if we can get this kid away from the painting. There's no paint no more. Why don't you come and put the cars in the boxes?
In the evening, this room in the village hall will be the setting for a meeting of the hall trustees. Their secretary is Ian Quinn, who came to the meeting bringing a cheque which he, as a local bank manager, had signed on behalf of the bank.
Now, we want to decide, we know we've got to get the heating. We want to decide whether we're going to go ahead with the lower ceiling tonight. we have to find 12.5% of the cost. But since that was decided, I have been very pleased to receive from an anonymous benefactor, and it is, I must stress, to be kept entirely anonymous so that the only connection with that individual is myself. I've received the sum of £5,000.
5,000?
Which I'm sure you'll all agree is extremely generous.
Wonderful thing, well, I did get a wee preview just now with a cheque. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw £5,000. That's only because I'm sitting right next to you. Super. Well, it takes a tremendous load off our shoulders anyhow. We can go ahead with the improvements which are on the cards and do a worthwhile job without having to worry where the money's coming from.
And is there a stipulation what we do with it? Is it kept solely for the heating?
The only stipulation is for the hall improvements, because this individual was aware that the hall, well, A, that the hall heating had collapsed and that the hall was needing some improvement just now. The individual was also aware that we were extremely short of funds. And this came quite out of the blue without any coercion, I may say, on anyone's part.
Saturday, Newtonmore in blue and white. The battle is about to begin. Newtonmore only managed to draw, but they went on to have another great season. They won the league again and the Scottish Cup for the 24th time. Now, a year later, the relaid shinty pitch is in use. The village hall is renovated, and Bob Saunders at the garage has given up hope of ever seeing his £5,000 again.